Jake here for American Muscle, and today I'm taking a look at this Injen Evolution cold air intake with dry filter for 2016 and newer 6.2 liter Camaros. This Evolution cold air intake from Injen is going to appeal to the Camaro owner who wants the benefits of a closed box style of intake that doesn't skimp on quality but still isn't going to blow the budget. This is one of the least expensive closed box intakes out there for the 6.2 Camaros, but it still packs a lot of good features for that price, and it doesn't require any tuning either. Injen has integrated some great features here that I think makes this whole thing a winner, but let's start with the most obvious, and that is that this is a closed box intake. Now, if you want to make the most out of a new intake setup, closed box is going to be the way to go, since it's going to be a true cold air intake because it's pulling cooler air from outside of the car, not hot air from inside the engine bay. Since this is totally sealing off the filter here and pulling that air from outside by the front grille, you're not going to get any real heat soak coming through here like you would with just a heat shield. Now, the box is made from polyethylene and it's roto-molded, so it's all one solid piece. By now, you've probably also noticed what Injen calls their clear view badge at the top of the box as well, which is this guy right here. This is as much functional as it is aesthetically pleasing because it provides an easy way to check the cleanliness and condition of the filter without having to disassemble anything. Now, speaking of that filter, this kit includes Injen's SuperNano-Web dry air filter. Now, dry air filters are a great choice because, well, they're just easy. You can clean them out with just a little bit of compressed air to help extend their life, and they allow for lots of airflow. Now, the SuperNano-Web features a unique multi-layer media with a nano membrane over the outer layer, but it's not oil. It has these nice deep pleats to help trap dirt and debris, and all that additional surface area versus your stock filter means that you're gonna get more air flowing into your engine. And again, since this is a dry design, there's no oil to worry about either. You don't have to worry about re-oiling this thing, just blow it out and you're ready to roll again. It also features a cool twist lock design, so taking the filter out to change it or putting it back in is as simple as that. Another big positive here is that, again, this is a no tune required intake, so you don't need to invest in a custom tune or a flash tuning module to get this set up to work on your Camaro. Just install the intake and you're ready to go. However, if you want to make the most out of this intake, if you want to get the most gains out of it, a tuning module is definitely the way to go. Now, as with any intake, don't expect that you're going to get huge power gains here. However, you are going to get some appreciable differences. And again, if you want to invest in a tuning module, you certainly can, and it will help you get the most out of it. But again, no tuning is required. Now, my favorite part about adding an intake is the additional sound that you get. You really get a nice aggressive growl under acceleration with this setup. And unlike an exhaust, intakes are usually pretty quiet under smaller throttle applications, but they make a lot more noise when you go wide open, so they're excellent for increasing the sound on a daily driver. Now, that's due in part to the filter and this big old air box, but it's also due to the intake tube. Now, like the box, this tube is also made of roto-molded polyethylene, and it's quite a bit bigger than your stock one, so it's going to allow for more airflow versus stock, in addition to that nice resonance, so you get some good intake noise too. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this is one of the least expensive closed box intakes you can get for the Camaro, and it's gonna run you right around $450. Now, of course, you can find less expensive intake setups, but for the features and the quality of the construction that you're getting here, I really do think this one is worth it. To get similar features, you'd likely have to spend quite a bit more money, and the difference in performance isn't gonna be that big. So for what you're getting, I think this is a really solid choice. Now, as far as install goes, this is gonna get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter. Intakes overall are pretty simple to install, and this is no exception. All the necessary hardware, including new band clamps and couplers, come in the box, so it's just a matter of unbolting your old one and putting this one in. This is definitely something that is easy to accomplish at home with common hand tools and should only take you about an hour or so to do. It's a great first modification, and I always get that nice sense of accomplishment when I do an intake and fire it up for the first time. It never really gets old. But enough talking about it, let's head over to the install bay now and we'll walk you through the process.
Tools required for this install include a flathead screwdriver, diagonal cutters, a 3/8 ratchet, a 1/4 inch ratchet, a T10 and T20 Torx bit, and an 8mm socket. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be installing a cold air intake on our Camaro, so let's get right down to it. So our first step is going to be to disconnect our mass airflow sensor. So we have 2 T20 Torx screws that we need to remove, and then we can just slide it right out of our tube. So now we can disconnect our crankcase fitting. So there's going to be a gray tab on the back, and then push in. Pop right off like that. And then next, we have to disconnect this one-time use clamp. So we'll have to cut that off and then remove this. All right, now our next step is to loosen our clamp, and we can do that with an 8mm socket, and then we can lift this whole airbox out. So now we can go ahead and install our air box. So if your grommets came out with the factory ones like ours did, you can just pull them off, pop them right back in. And then we can slide in our filter and turn it to the left about a quarter turn so that it locks into place. And then we can slide these provisions into our grommets. So now we can take our larger clamp and slide it over our intake filter. And then we can take our coupler and our smaller clamps and slide that over the edge of our intake tube. And then we can slide this into place. Now we can go ahead and tighten down our 3 clamps. And now we can install our included rubber grommet. Now we can reconnect our mass airflow sensor. We can disconnect the harness. Slide that in. And then we can use our supplied T10 screws. And then we can reconnect our harness. And we can reinstall our crankcase fitting as well.
That's going to wrap things up here for our review and install of the Injen Evolution cold air intake for 2016 and newer 6.2 liter Camaros. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, for all things Camaro, be sure to stick with us right here at AmericanMuscle.com.